Yo, what's up, guys? So I'm going to be back today with another video. Today we're going to be looking at basically a follow-up from our previous video, which was creating a transaction in the backend, sending it to front end, and executing it, getting it to the video hash graph network. So I've only finally got around to installing Linux. I'm using WSL, which is like Windows subsystem of Linux. But yeah, so now I'm going to be doing this. So we're going to go into our file where it is, and nothing like that. Sonic dig. Actually, we want to open that up, so we'll also code open it up in VS Code, and I've already installed it. So sorry, when I say Sorry, when I say I've already installed it, I've already installed the package that we need, the Blade package. So yeah, today we're going to be looking at how to do it with Blade, as opposed to previously where we did it with Hashpack. So we're using the Hash Connect. Now we're going to be using Blade. So this is the npm module you want. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create like a component specifically for the Blade button. Put it there, and yeah, as I said, it's already basically up and running. So it's already imported. So we're just going to copy and paste kind of the code which Blade has recommended. So annoying, my IntelliSensor stops working. It's on and off. I think it takes a while because I'm using a Linux computer. So this is that, and we'll just call the init blade for when we want to, as it. And we'll also, so yeah, this would kind of be like the pair function. Have on click, and that will be init blade. Say that this is the pair. So annoying that doesn't autofill. And then also what we'll say is, okay, so once we have the Blade wallet, yeah, let can. So we'll do a similar thing to the other previous one where we've got a trophy displaying whether we can see the connect button or not. So to begin with, this would just be like an empty string, and then we'll say paired count equal blade signer dot get count, but this is needs to be in the string format. I don't know why TypeScript's not causing up an error. But yeah, it seems this WSL is just it's a virtual machine, so it's slow. And then we'll create a new on-click function. Pair. Sorry, not pair. The transacts function. Apologize, you guys. Maybe some of you are typing as you go along as well. Also, we're going to be using the testnet. Important part. We're using the testnet. Paired account with that. Also, we want to declare. So we want to make the blade signer global. We're going to declare blade signer before. And what we'll say is blade signer gets equals to that once we initialize it, and then we can use this blade signer object to call our transaction. So looking at the documentation, this is what it is. I do have a video already covering it, but essentially we'll be using this call function here. So blade signer will sign and execute with the provider account. The provider account being whatever we instantiate whatever we pair with. So yeah, that's gonna be what we call now. Let's just have a little look at what we've got here. So on our transact function, it's basically the same thing. So we're going to be doing a post request over to our API, which returns bytes, and then we're just doing a transfer transaction from bytes. So we're literally going to be doing the exact same thing. Quite literally the exact same thing. So I'll just copy and paste that over. If you haven't checked out the previous video, you can check it out. This will obviously all be on GitHub as well. So this is going to be our transact function. connected ID, this is causing an error because we've called it paired account. So what I'll do actually is I'll just hit F2. Now I can change all of anything that's got a paired ID will be changed to connect. We're also going to need to obviously import transfer transaction, and we won't be using this is a hash connect. So what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be saying first we'll import transfer transaction from at right, and so that's good. So the bytes and the data, that's all the same thing. Now instead of using this TX execute with signer and then using the signer provider API, which we're able to get and we're able to create over here, hash pack. What we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be using this blade signer.call method. I think it's async. Blade signer.call. And then what we do is we pass in this transaction which we've got from bytes. And that should actually do the job. I think it just returns a similar thing. And what we're also going to do is we'll add a additional here. If connected up. Cool. Dash it. Right now, I think my IntelliSense is working. Stupid. Still, have not got the pretty fire thing on there. Anyway, so obviously we've just created this component. We're not actually doing anything with it yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to import the component and display it onto our page. Plus page dots. We'll say import blade button from there. Paste it in. So here. Button. And over on our site, we should now, okay, we've got an issue. Right, okay. Lib /blade button. This is kind of like a shorthand where it directly goes into the lib file. Oh, right, it's causing an error now, but now if we do try to pair, we're going to get an error because you need to have an HTTPS server running with Blade. So we look into console, hit pair, nothing's going to happen. However, what we can do is we can run an ngrok server. Now I think I've also got a video on how to do this. But we want to basically route port 5173, create this HTTPS forwarded server, which like anywhere in the world you can connect to. So we'll go through there. And damn it, I don't think I've got, okay. I don't even have, right. I need to set up a free account. I need to do this. I then need to install a Blade Connect as well. So bear with me while I do that. Cool, so I've got, anyway, so yeah, I've got Blade Wallet installed now. Now at the moment, when you set it up, testnet a mainnet account. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up testnet, enable test back. Should also automatically. Right, so this should be the testnet. And we test it by when we click pair. Go up pops Blade Wallet. We hit approve. Now, so it's been successful because we transact button is showing up. So that's how we know. Now we should be able to hit transact. So we'll call the API. Remember, the transaction is a bit of a weird one. Essentially, we receive 100 HBAR. Because we're paying for it, we also need to sign. So if we hit sign, there's been an error, insufficient payer balance. So I have 0 HBAR. Right, let me fix this quickly. I'm going to transfer some fake HBAR. Right, so because I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to log out onto my other PC account and blah blah blah. What I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to change this code slightly so that we send it with the client. So, we'll just basically pay for it with my account, with my developer account. Client equals new testnet, new client.for testnet, and set operator. We're going to be setting the operator account here. BW. Okay, so now that's that. So then we can actually say freeze with client, and then we can actually execute it. What we'll actually do is we'll say equal way tx with the client, and all of this stuff is really just irrelevant. All of this stuff, we'll just return, because I don't want it to cause an error. And over here we'll just console log. Okay, so this is just literally like a small little hack so I can get some money into my account, and we can revert it back to the old code. Up and there into, well, it might have still worked, to be honest. Check the account. Hopefully it's still with the function. Right, so I figured out what the issue was. Essentially, because before we're paying for it and submitting it with the connected ID, then we need to set a node account and transaction ID, and then freeze, do the normal freeze method. But because for this little workaround, I'm doing freeze with client, we don't need to set a transaction ID, it will automatically generate it. We're basically setting it with an incorrect transaction ID. So I just ran this code, and it now, if I check my Blade wallet, I should have there we go, I've got 100 HBAR in it, so that would be enough to do the transactions. Now we're just going to basically get it back to what it originally was looking like. There we go. So we didn't need the client, we did need the transaction ID, we need to show these, and then this is the freeze method we're using. We're going to be signing it on the front end, and over in our Blade button, all these functions. Now I believe this is all good and dandy. Hit pair, hit transact, up will pop, you receive 100 HBAR, hit sign, and then it's been successful. This is essentially success. We should also have now another HBAR, another 100 HBAR in our wallet. Now, okay, so to 2 decimal places, but I think this is actually should be a bit short. Should have paid tiny little fee. The 3 decimal. There we go. Yeah. So to 2 decimal places, we have 200. That's the tiny little fee. Anyway, look, that's all done for this video. I'll be doing the same thing in Spanish. But I hope that was interesting. So yeah, as you can see, we've got both of the options. You can pair with Hashpack and Transact, or equally you can do it with Blade. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want up next. Have a good day.